Hello everybody. In this video, we're going to talk about how the Department of State is prioritizing immigrant visa processing. This is the most recent update that we have, and as always, we wanted to share with you. We'll talk about the 4-tier system, we'll talk about who is getting expedited cases, and we'll talk about what you need to know as you're waiting for your immigrant visa right now. Many of you are anxious. We'll give you all the latest updates. So what are you waiting for? I'll see you on the other side. Hello everybody, and welcome back to our immigration channel. This is a place where you get the most up-to-date immigration news, immigration information, and everything else that you need to make your immigration journey less stressful. My name is Jacob Sapochnick, and I'm an immigration attorney located in San Diego, California, and we help clients in all 50 states. If you are here for the first time, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, click the notification bell so you don't miss any of our videos, and also give us a big like so YouTube will be able to show this video to more people just like you. In this video, we're going to dive into the most recent update from the Department of State that was released about a week ago that tells us how they're processing immigrant visas, an update about their 4-tier system, who's getting priorities, and also an update about who's getting their cases expedited on a priority basis. As you know, and in many of my videos and anybody who's talking to me in consultations, I still believe that getting your case expedited right now is super important if you qualify, if you can, because right now the backlog at MVC is really big right now, and it's still important to be proactive on your case. Well, in this update, they're telling us who is actually getting priority for the expedited cases. They're not saying that those that are not in that category are not going to be able to be expedited, but they're actually emphasizing who is top priority for expedited cases. I'll talk about that in this video. So the most recent update was released on the Department of State website, and I'll provide an analysis of that in addition to a link to that update in the description of this video as well. The update starts with the State Department informing everybody that the embassies and consulates are still not working on a regular basis. They also explain that every embassy, depending on where they are located, are going to open according to the country conditions, according to their staffing capabilities, and to other things that will impact the embassy to provide routine visa services. They also said that all these embassies and consulates are working within that 4-tier system, which I'll remind you in a second what it is. But the interesting thing in this update is that they are saying that pretty much a lot of these embassies and consulates are scheduling appointments for each one of these 4 tiers. So a little bit on immigrant visas, a little bit on CR1s and IR1s, a little bit on tier 3 for other family-based preferences, and of course also some in tier 4 for employment-based cases. So they will schedule appointments a little bit for each and every single tier every single month. This is interesting because until this update, it was very unclear how these embassies are using the tier system specifically to schedule those appointments. There's been a lot of confusion from applicants, but now it seems that they will be scheduling appointments based on that 4-tier system, but they're going to be providing appointments under each category every single month, which is good. Let's see how this is actually going to be implemented in reality. Remember that the State Department's priority system highlights the congressional objectives to prioritize, first of all, family petitions, immediate relatives, then K-1 visas for fiancés, followed by all the family preference categories. That was their main goal when the crisis started, and the only way to implement this was to create that 4-tier system. Let's go over that real quick in a way of reminder and also explain to you what's happening with the system at the moment. So the following are the 4-tier system for processing immigrant visas at the moment. Tier 1 focus on immediate relative inter-country adoptions, age-out children cases. These are cases where the applicant will soon no longer qualify because of their age. Those have to be expedited on a priority basis so they won't lose their place in line. Certain special immigrant visas. Currently we have the Afghan crisis. A lot of these applicants are getting priority to get their visas when being processed at different embassies and consulates that are able to process their cases. They are definitely fall within tier 1. And finally, general emergency cases that are being determined on a case-by-case basis. Again, specifically, if you do get your case expedited and you get an emergency appointment at a US embassy, your case will fall under tier 1 and you'll be able to get that visa scheduled as a priority. Tier 2, Tier 2 focus on immediate relative visas, IR1, CR1s, spouses of US citizens. It's also focused on K1 fiancé visas and returning resident visas. Those are the green card holders those are the ones that are included in Tier 2 of immigrant visa processing. Tier 3 focus on all other family preference visas, F2Bs, F4s, and all the people that are documentally qualified and their priority dates are current in those categories. It's also reserved for special immigrant visas for certain employees of the United States government. Tier 4 is reserved for all other immigrant visas, including employment-based and DV lottery diversity visas. That's included in Tier 4. Now, the interesting thing about this update is that they said specifically that those embassies that are processing visas, those embassies that are working on limited capacities, are going to be issuing visas from each one of those categories every single month. Their approach is to try to schedule appointments from each one of these tiers every single month. Now, the volume of these appointments is really unclear. We have no idea how many of them, but they are doing that. They're not just limiting them to Tier 1 or Tier 2 cases. They are trying to get people scheduled on the different tiers. So if you have an employment-based case that is about to get an interview, or you're sitting there waiting for an interview on your employment-based case, don't lose hope, because your case could be scheduled now while they're scheduling other family-based petitions as well. And again, the reason why they have that preference system is they're trying to maximize their resources. They only have limited number of officers, they only have limited number of slots available, they only have limited number of days in the week as well to be able to see people. And as a result, they're using that tier system to be able to schedule as many people as possible. Now, there's been a lot of complaints for applicants that saying that they're in category 3 or 4, they're not getting any interviews. And the State Department in this update said that they are committed to scheduling people from Tier 3, Tier 4, which again, they are family preference, other family preference outside of immediate relatives, and employment-based categories are EB2s, are EB3s applicants that are ready, they're waiting to get their immigrant visa appointments, and they're stuck. So the promise is that you're going to see more movement in the next month or so. And again, hopefully it will happen. If it's not going to happen, obviously I'll bring that update here in our channel. And remember, we come out here with a video to keep you posted, and therefore if you have an issue with your case, if you need to consult with an attorney, that is why I'm here for you. Make sure you send me a text, 619-483-4549. We're going to get to you eventually. We get a lot of text messages, but we will respond and we will get that appointment scheduled with you. So make sure you take advantage of that if you're watching this video. So with respect to DV lottery diversity cases, the State Department promised that they will continue to process these cases as many as possible within their limits. I know there's litigation going on right now. A lot of the DV lottery applicants are missing the opportunity because the deadlines are coming close, but they promise that they will process as many of these cases as possible also in this update. And we hope that if you are a DV lottery applicant and you're stuck overseas, make sure you follow up with your embassy to see if an interview can be scheduled, because they promise that they will prioritize you as well. Now, in this most recent update, they did provide us an update as to who can get their cases expedited, in addition to the regular national interest exceptions that we've been using for a lot of our other cases based on hardship. They specifically highlighted one category that is going to get a priority right now for expediting their cases, and this is specifically for healthcare workers who are going to be working in a facility that is engaged in response to the pandemic, focus on pandemic-related response. And again, those cases are going to be reviewed on a case-by-case basis. Who qualifies for this special expedite request? Number one, who will work in a facility engaged in a pandemic response. Number two, have an approved immigrant visa with the current priority date for either an immediate relative, a family preference petition, or an employment-based immigrant visa. So essentially, if you are a beneficiary of either family preference petition, immediate relative, or even an employment-based petition, which typically is going to fall on the 4th tier, you can request an emergency expedite. You will be prioritized, and they'll be able to get you an appointment and a visa interview as soon as possible. Now, most of you are going to have your cases stuck at a National Visa Center. If that's the case, you're going to have to email the NVC expedite email address that we already explained in past videos. how to do this expedite request. You have to email them a full package describing that you're a healthcare worker, if you meet those requirements, and they will process your application. They'll approve this expedite, move you to your appointment, and then you'll be able to get your emergency appointment with the US Embassy, wherever your case is assigned to. It's a good sign that we can see that embassies and consulates with the MVC are still committed to processing expedited cases, and they're giving us guidelines as to which cases get top priority. Again, it doesn't mean that all the other things, that all the other cases that are based on hardship or all the other requirements of the national interest exceptions are not in effect anymore. They are in effect, but they're just saying that under this recent update, because of the issue with the Delta variant, in cases in the United States and other countries, they are giving priority to healthcare workers, specifically those that are engaged in the coronavirus battle. So these are great news to know that yes, embassies are still slow. Yes, embassies are not fully operational, but they are trying to make things better. They are committed to their tier system, and they are processing cases every single month from all 4 tier systems, and they have included another category to allow cases to be expedited in addition to the regular expedite process that we've engaged in the past several months. So once again, if you're here for the first time, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, click the notification bell so you don't miss any of our videos. Give us a big like so YouTube will be able to recommend this video to more people just like you. And once again, if you enjoyed this video, leave me a comment, leave me a question. We'll try to get to all your questions, to all your comments. We are doing our best. We get so many of them, but we're not forgetting anyone. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.